नमस्कार, फिर पैसा बोलता है में आपका स्वागत है। आज रविवार है, संडे है। हमने अभी तक इस हॉट टेक्स को बंद करके रखा था 3 हफ्ते के लिए क्योंकि मेरा भाई तो वैकेशन में गया था, अभी वो वापस आ गया। आज फिर से हॉट टेक्स करेंगे,
So what is up with the market, Anand? Why is it like swaying so much?
because the market was first discounting the fact, the truth, that there will be a hung parliament, which is a hung parliament now. That it's a single party majority will not be there.
Correct.
Then some important officials of the ruling party predicted that they will win. And on June 4th, there will be a very good news. So immediately what happened is, still the market was correcting. So the day the election exit polls were supposed to come, Adani stocks went up. And because Adani stocks went up, and some intelligent, smart people bought, whether they are smart or whether they had information before, we don't know. They bought before the exit poll in the last minute. The exit poll predicted 400 for the government. Immediately next day, the market opened up all-time high. And there was a classic distribution like I explained yesterday. And then when the results came on 4th, hell broke loose. The markets have gone up the next 3 days because it expects that A, the government is formed, B, what is happening is what stocks have gone up are only public sector stocks, stocks related to infrastructure where government can have influence, and favorite stocks of the government, which clearly believes that somebody is buying. Somebody is smart is buying. In spite of all this, the reality will come home too soon. That this government cannot pass bills like the previous government. This government cannot work without taking parliament into guidance.
Yes, without unilaterally it cannot steer.
Unilaterally it cannot do. It cannot override cabinet. And the prime minister cannot sign roughshod over the cabinet. Because one of the cabinet ministers will say, let me talk to my boss and come back.
Correct.
So it's going to be very difficult.
There was an interesting analysis which was done where our previous prime minister who was there in office, his tenure of 10 years compared with the current prime minister's 10 years compares, where the Sensex saw from 2004 to 2014 a 400% rally, while the current leader tenure of 10 years saw only around 202%.
See,
but how come this is not shown reflecting in our media?
Media doesn't talk about all this. But the reason for this rise is Manmohan Singh did fundamental reform and he encouraged consumption. India is primarily a consumption-driven economy. People manufacture for India, it's consumed in India. Some portions are exported abroad. If you look at autos industries, which is a major success story which developed under Manmohan Singh's time, we make bikes and cars for India. And it's a large population. So our people are very successful, good at making them. The third world country wants them. We export to the third world country. If you went to Indonesia, you go to Africa, Iran, all these places, you will find Indian bikes running.
Yeah, even so Indian autos.
Indian autos and Indian bikes. So now Suzuki is across West Asia, making cars in India and taking it there. Hyundai is making cars and exporting out of India. So you make for India, it becomes successful, and then you export it to the world. So, and he kept indirect taxes low, he kept direct taxes high. Therefore, consumption was higher. And because consumption was higher, companies' earnings grew faster. That is what is clearly reflecting that his return is double that of the current person.
And so far, if this trend seems to be reflecting, goes on, it would be trouble for us, won't it? Because FIIs have been net equity sellers for this calendar year so far.
Exactly. Yes. And what has happened, politically sensitive, two stocks have done extremely well. One is Amar Raja. Amar Raja started at 1,000 rupees, around 1,000 rupees. We bought it at 600. And it was at 1,000 when that deal happened, when the election happened. From 1,000 it's gone to 1,500 in 3 days. There's another company which is linked to the winner of the Andhra Pradesh elections, Heritage Foods, that shot up 65%. And I don't know about Heritage Foods. Amar Raja is fundamentally a very sound company. Yeah.
And what is his idea that the next gold is silver? Do you think that silver has a opportunity like gold?
If gold increases, as it will when the rates cut happens, gold jewelry will go out of reach of most people.
Hmm.
So silver jewelry can replace gold.
Hmm.
And already in Tata's have a brand called Mia,
Hmm.
which is selling 14 karat gold, which is basically gold mixed with silver.
Hmm.
So if people start accepting silver as an alternate to gold,
Hmm.
the demand for silver will explode.
Hmm.
So silver is almost at an high, all-time high.
Hmm.
But the gold-silver ratio predicts
Hmm.
if people adopt silver metal
Hmm.
acceptable like gold,
Hmm.
it will go through the roof.
So it's the time to be greedy with silver.
I do not know.
I agree on that too. We should not be making,
Because I do not know.
we should not speculate.
I'll tell you the problem.
Hmm.
I do not know whether you keep silver, somebody will give you 70% of it as loan.
Correct.
Because silver is highly volatile.
Yes.
So prices can go up and come down.
Very true.
And I have seen some all-time highs, 60-70% correction in silver.
Correct.
So no banker will take it as security.
And that is a major advantage of gold.
That is the major advantage of
And that is the only reason we ask you to accumulate gold.
Yeah.
Is for that main reason. Especially people who are like you and me, who do not have disposable income or wealth like the others have. The reason why we ask you to accumulate gold instead of silver is because gold holds that value, and in times of a crisis and emergency, you can leverage that and get your money back so you can get through the crisis.
Yes.
So that is the main reason. We are not here to speculate,
Yes.
nor are we telling you to trade in commodities and speculate between gold and silver.
I have no idea.
We have no idea on that. So please steer clear out of that. And those of you who have been asking for us, I hope that gives you some clarity. But talking about gold, Anand, we saw some price and correction in gold.
Gold
What
is
is that?
definitely going to correct because last year China stopped buying.
Central Bank of China.
Central Bank of China stopped buying.
I know. I think
Because
they
they
put a
felt-
pause.
They put a pause. So the prices are correcting because China's central bank was a major buyer of gold. And since they put a pause, there was a problem. And so the demand for gold came down. So, but gold will correct down to 6,200 without GST. It will trade between 62 to 700. But the real good news for gold will be when the interest rates start cutting in US. That's when gold will do extraordinarily well.
Correct. And also looking at the geopolitical situation where China and US are, even if there's a presidential change in US.
No, all that will not change things.
Yes, it is the fundamental problems the world is facing will be still persistent
Yes.
for some more time.
Yes, yes.
So
yes.
the pressure on gold will remain.
For some time because the president of America is now normally taking under pressure of public opinion is he anti-China.
Yeah.
The next president can be pro-China because he will lose his base.
Correct. So taking all that into account, gold is still an opportunity. Any correction you see in gold?
Gold is an opportunity. If it corrects, you please buy gold.
Okay. And what about gold allied stocks like Manappuram and Muthoot?
Manappuram will do well. Muthoot will do well. Titan will do well. Kalyan Jewellers is too costly.
At this point of time.
This point of time. आज के लिए इतना ही. आपने इस पॉडकास्ट को सुना, इसके लिए मैं आपका आभारी हूँ. हो सके तो इस वीडियो को लाइक कीजिए, चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और बेल नोटिफिकेशन दबाएं. इस वीडियो को अपने दोस्त और रिश्तेदार के पास भेजें और उनको देखने की आग्रह करें. नमस्कार, धन्यवाद, जय हिंद.